Here we're looking at the product of prime factors. Before we get into these two examples, let's just have a look at the title, product of prime factors, and what does it mean? Product basically means to multiply. So the product of two numbers is the same as the multiplication of two numbers. Prime is a number which is divisible by 1 and itself. So 2 is our first prime number. 2 is our only even prime number. 3, 5, 7, 9 is not prime, because remember that prime numbers are only divisible by 1 and the number itself, whereas 9 is divisible by 3. And factors then are numbers which can be divided into another number. So you're basically trying to find out the numbers which divide into 36 in example 1, but those numbers must just be prime numbers. So the way I do this is, first thing we're going to do is we're going to write down our number, the 36. And I'm going to split the number 36 into two numbers now that multiply or product to 36. And the two numbers that multiply to 36 are 2 multiplied by 18. Now, easiest way to do this is always start with the smallest number. So start with 2, see does it divide in, then 3, then 5. So they're the first two factors of 36 that I have found. 2 multiplied by 18. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to split that 18 because 18 is not prime, but I have to make sure that I keep this 2 coming down. So I'm going to keep this 2, but now I'm going to split the 18, and I'm going to split the 18 into two numbers that multiply to 18. Now the two numbers I'm picking are going to be 2 and 9. Now you could have picked 3 and 6. It's up to you. We'll get the same answers at the end, so don't be worrying why am I picking 2 and 9. Again, I always start with the smallest number that can divide into it. I'm now going to go again because 9 is not a prime number. 2 is, so I'm keeping this 2. I'm keeping this 2. And then I'm splitting the 9 as we said. And I'm going to write down what those two numbers are in 1 second. So as I said, I'm bringing down my original 2, then the next 2. And hopefully you can see that the two numbers that multiply to 9 are 3 and 3. And if you take a look at all of the lines in the question, look at this part here. 2 multiplied by 18 are 36. 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 9 is 36. 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 is 36. We're always getting back to that original number of 36. And that's the reason why I'm bringing that 2 down with me every time. So just to write our answer there, write down the prime factors of 36. Well, my final answer is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. Now that's the same as 2 multiplied by 2 is the same as 2 squared. So you can write it as 2 squared multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3, which is 3 squared. So they're the same thing. It's up to you if you just want to write it a different way. If you don't want to use the multiply sign, it's the same as 2 squared multiplied by 3 squared. We know that brackets mean to multiply. So it's up to you how you want to write your final solution. They're all giving you basically the same answer. Okay, coming over now to example 2. Same process again, just a larger number, 120. 120, as we know, is not prime because I can divide 10 into it, I can divide 2 into it, I can divide 40 into it. So we know straight off that it's not prime. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to write down my number, 120. I'm going to split it. Now, as I said, you can find any two numbers that divide into 120. I always start with the smallest number, and the smallest number that divides into 120 is 2. And 2 divides into 120 60 times. The 2 now is prime, so I just have to make sure that that comes down with me, but I can't factorize it. So I'm putting back in my 2, and now I'm going to split the 60. And 60 can be split in many ways, but I'm keeping it to be the smallest number first, which is 2 multiplied by 30. So 2 30s are 60. And I go again. I'm bringing down my first 2. Then I'm bringing down this 2. And then I'm splitting the 30. And we're splitting 30 into 2 multiplied by 15. For me anyway. Again, you can go slightly different. You can go 3 and 10 if that's what you want to do. So I'm bringing down this 2, bringing down this 2, splitting 30 into 2 multiplied by 15. Again, always check your line. 2 multiplied by 2, multiplied by 2, multiplied by 15. must get you back to the 120. Okay, let's go again because 15 is not prime. So I'm going to bring down my original 2, bring down my second 2, bring down my third 2, and then I'm bringing down the 15. And I'm splitting 15 as 3 by 5. So there's that 2, my second 2, my third 2, and the 15 can be split, as I said, 3 by 5. Going to take a look now and make sure that are they all prime. 2 is prime, 2 is prime, 2 is prime, 3 is a prime number, and 5 is a prime number. So I can't go any further. So let's tidy it up. My final answer is going to be 2 multiplied by 2, multiplied by 2, multiplied by 3, multiplied by 5. That's one way of writing our answer. Or I could write it as 2 by 2 by 2 is 2 to the power of 3, multiplied by my 3 and multiplied by my 5. Or if I don't want to use the multiply sign, I can use brackets. So 2 cubed multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5. And that's 2 examples on how to find the product of prime numbers. It's the same no matter what the number. Just make sure that if you're finding the product of primes of an odd number, that the first number you're going to divide in will perhaps be 3. A good one to practice is maybe the number 64. 64 is a good practice question because you're going to split it into a lot of 2s. So it's a good way of making sure that your tree diagram is coming down in a good shape. Hope it helps.
Thank you for watching another tutorial video from Tulla Maths. Make sure and subscribe.